You're with Paul Henry. It is a Friday morning, thank goodness, and Britons, as you know, are voting right now, 18 minutes past 7. So while Britain is not one of our massive trading partners anymore, a free trade deal with Europe is still on our wish list. So how could the result affect us here in New Zealand? New Zealand Initiative Executive Director Oliver Hartwich joins me now. Oliver, good morning to you.
Morning, Paul.
Can I just ask you that very quickly, that same question about David Cameron? I mean, we know that he just cannot hold on if the vote is to leave. But if the vote goes his way, do you agree with me that he is on very shaky ground staying?
I'd be surprised if he's still Prime Minister by Christmas, and no matter how the vote really goes, because he has really campaigned hard for the Remain cause. And if he loses that referendum, he's out. If he wins the referendum, he has really split his party, and his backbenchers will be furious with him for having done that. So I think he will be out before the end of the year.
Okay, there's one word which really shouts out loud in terms of our economic future in New Zealand and what happens here, and it's the same in Britain. The word is uncertainty. Markets hate probably the thing they hate most is uncertainty, and that is the big worry with the Brexit vote, isn't it? If Britain leaves, we don't know that it's going to be diabolical because we just don't know.
Well, but if Britain leaves, nothing will happen tomorrow, because actually, even if they got a referendum,
uncertainty will happen tomorrow.
Uncertainty will happen. That's it. But my message to markets would be keep calm and carry on, because actually nothing changes tomorrow. If they pull out, if the referendum goes for Brexit, it will basically give a mandate to the British government to renegotiate with Europe. But actually, it doesn't tell the British government when it actually has to announce the result to Brussels. So they've got a bit of leeway here. They've got room for maneuver.
So until Britain Britain can spend as long as they like negotiating, but as soon as Britain actually says to Brussels, we're leaving, a timeline kicks in.
Exactly. That's Article 50 of the European Treaty, and basically it means from the moment that the Brits actually tell the European Commission in Brussels we're out, the clock starts ticking, and then they've got about 2 years' time to renegotiate the position with Europe. But nothing will really happen overnight tomorrow, because really this process will take years to sort out, so there is no need to panic immediately. The only thing that will happen is, of course, uncertainty.
Okay, which means panic. People will panic immediately. You realise that, Oliver, don't you?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so from our point of view, Britain stays in, and we're in the same negotiating position that we're in now. And Britain, for New Zealand, it is good to have Britain in the European Union, isn't it?
Well, for the European Union, it's good to have Britain, because Britain is probably the sanest country in the EU. It's the most liberal, most free trading nation.
They love free trade. That's why it's very good for us, because they love free trade.
Absolutely. But even if they pull out, it might still be good for us, because we would be first in line to negotiate a free trade agreement with the UK, of course, after leaving the EU. And of course, 1973 was...
Will they be able to afford to pay for anything, though? Because if they pull out, rumour has it they're going to go into recession.
Well, I don't think so immediately, because actually, okay, there might be panic, but there is no reason to panic, really, at this stage. I think actually long-term consequences for Britain might well be positive, but the immediate future, of course, will be quite disruptive.
Right, and for New Zealand?
For New Zealand, I think it is great to have a free trading nation within the European Union, because we're trying to get this free trade agreement. But if they pull out, I think we'd be first in line to get a free trade agreement with the UK.
We've got to remember that there are a lot of members of the European Union who are highly protectionist.
Yes, indeed. Practically all of them, except for Britain and maybe Germany. So I think having this kind of free trading nation within the EU, certainly a good thing. But even if they pull out, I think it will actually help us to restore that relationship that New Zealand probably lost in 1973.
Interesting. So not the end of the word, no need to panic is your message. Just very quickly, Oliver, can the European Union survive if Britain pull out? France, Germany, will they be feeling a little bit unsure?
Well, I think they should take it as a strong signal that something needs to change, because the European Union is actually in need of reform. And I think if Britain or Brexit doesn't wake them up from that, then there's no hope for the European Union.
Oh, you're right. But then this isn't Britain's fault that this is happening. This is the European Union's fault that this is happening.
It is said it's come to that.
Oliver, thank you very much for joining us. Oliver Hartwich, New Zealand Initiative Executive Director. It's 22 minutes past 7. Coming up, the